Do you ever hear things that aren't really there? Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Today is day 27 of the 31 Days of Horror Review. Today we're talking about They Look Like People. Now, I've watched this movie previously, probably about 3 or 4 years ago, and I've brought it up to my friends a couple of times because it really left a lasting impact on me. So I wanted to make sure it was as good as I remembered it being. I found it on Shudder, I saw it was there, and so I jumped right on the opportunity to watch it again. But let's jump into the plot, shall we? Suspecting that people around him are turning into evil creatures, a troubled man questions whether to protect his only friend from an impending war or from himself. Alright, so the plot itself goes as Wyatt. There's a character named Wyatt that you kind of see early on walking with almost all of his things in a large bag. Kind of shows a brief summary of him laying next to what you only know as a woman, maybe. Complete shadows completely block her face as you kind of begin to hear what sounds like a locust swarm in the background. He closes his eyes. You hear her turn over. He still cannot see her face. The locust swarm goes louder, and he suddenly finds himself with his friend, or he finds him. Sorry. We cut to another character named Evan, who is recently apparently doing really well at his work, at his job, I should say, by listening to these tapes. And they do a good job of showing two different people's aspects of the tape, or two different people's versions of the tape. And they're pretty classic, empowering, old-fashioned tapes of you are a mountain, you are strong, you are fast as lightning, you are unbeatable as iron, you're like stuff like that. It's something that apparently that's helped him do better at work and stop letting people step on him, but it might be rubbing people the wrong way as well. It continues on. Apparently he's been Wyatt, the first friend that has all of his belongings, bumps into him on the streets and kind of slyly asks to stay with him, hang out with him. He stays the night there, and he gets a phone call, and apparently he's been getting them for a while, with a very distorted voice saying, "We're already here," or "They're already here. We have a few days left before the end of the world. You'll know if it's them. Don't look them in the eyes. We don't know how it spreads. Acid seems to take care of them." That's all I'll really say about the overall plot. It pretty much comes down to the fact of will he trust his dearest and only friend left, or will he cave into this voice that he's hearing on the phone and these horrible images that he constantly sees. So with that overall, I haven't heard of another plot kind of like this. And if you have, please let me know the film, because I would love to watch it. Almost dropped something. I would love to watch it. The plot for this movie gets an 8.5 because I love the idea of this. The movie's short at 120 minutes, and it's definitely an indie feel, but it is really worth the hour and 20 minutes. Like it's not over the top scary, but it will keep your attention completely and utterly. With that being said, let's jump to the overall threat. They look like people. You're not sure who is real and who is not. If this is in his head or if this is real life, you're not sure of. It does an excellent job of letting you know that he knows he's crazy, but there's that chance, and how the realism, I guess the realism of these visions is starting to wane and beat him down. So the threat itself is also pretty high to me. It's probably about a 7. The scares itself, there's not a ton to go. There's not a ton of scares. They do an excellent job with silence. I'm going to kind of combine sound with this as well. With being an indie film, they don't get a lot of musical rights to it. So they let the sound of the mosquitoes, or the locusts, if you will, and the lack thereof tell a story in itself without having a huge orchestra behind it or the same like rent jump scare sounds. But besides that, only the times where he's figuring out if he's imagining it or not imagining it are the only real scares. It comes off more as like a psychological mystery, if you will. So I'll give it, on the scare factor, probably a little bit lower, for like a 3. That being said, is it newbie approved? Yes, it is. Anyone can watch this film. I believe it's rated. Yeah, it's not rated. I don't think there's any. There's some blood, nothing crazy. I think it was like a bloody nose. Would I recommend this? Yes, I would. The overall score for this film, I've seen, let's see what the internet itself has given it: a 5.9 on IMDb, a 92 on Rotten Tomatoes, and 75% of people enjoy this movie. I am one of those people. I thought this was great through and through. I can understand that some people might think this is more slow and more thriller-esque, less of a horror movie. So I can understand where they're coming from there. I do really enjoy this movie. I'll give this a 7.5. I think it was good for the amount of time they gave us, and I think they did an excellent job with the budget they had. I will recommend this movie. It's just interesting. Take care, everyone, and just remember, if a voice is telling you that you need acid to figure out if something's good or bad, everything's gonna be bad. Take care. Peace.